Welcome to Happy Hour with Ruth.
And Roxy.
Hey, we actually got it right.
We did.
I knew my name.
Yep.
That's a big leap forward.
We were just saying that we think we look like PTA ladies or something.
Yep.
It's very neutral.
We're
not typically...
nondescript. We could murder people and they would be, I don't know, they were nondescript.
They were nondescript. I just got back from a week in Tofino away
Yes.
with my husband and middle daughter and her family, and I am really tired.
And Scruffy's here, as you can tell.
Neo's here too, and
also, I wish I could show you because Scruffy's just barking at the fire. Like he's not even barking at anybody. Oh, he might be barking at Neo.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, she was away for a week, and everything was out of sorts in my world. It just didn't work anymore. So tell us about your vacation. We're going to have, what is it when you go back to school? The show and tell about your summer vacation?
Yeah. Oh, it was really
What
fun.
did you bring to show?
So nothing, as it turns out. And I even bought a hat too, which I really like. But no, I brought nothing.
I have things she could show because she brought me presents.
I did, yes. But she always brings me presents, so she started it as usual. But so an interesting thing about being a grandmother in this time of the world history is that I'm taking pictures of my grandkids and things that we're doing, but I don't necessarily want to post them because
it's hard, right?
They're not my kids.
Yep.
They're my grandkids.
Yep.
I want to celebrate the time I have with them, but I also don't want to violate anybody's privacy.
Yep.
I don't want to give away anything that should not be given away.
Yep.
And so I'm just really not posting very much.
Yep.
Also, I mean, the week that we were there was the week that, Charlie Kirk was killed. And
right.
I don't want to be posting things, about how happy I am and how much fun I'm having when the world is in such such array. It's just really
it's really
weird.
hard, right?
It's weird, right?
But going back to the first part of why it is I'm probably too respectful about anything. Like I always say to somebody, can I post this?
Yeah.
Even if it's an adult. But so my friend Moppy, who and Rose, who have this beautiful child named Melame, and I've made myself her fairy godmother, although, nobody gets to say in it but me and Melame. But when he sends me pictures, I always say to them, is it okay? Yeah. Can I post this? Because I would never, and you have to, because first of all, you don't know. I mean, I only post them on Facebook and you have to be my friend to see them.
Yeah.
However, having said that, you want to make sure it's okay with them, because not only do I not want to put her in some kind of jeopardy, I also don't want to piss them off so they don't send me photos anymore.
Well, exactly,
right?
Exactly. Yeah, we're always given very strict guidelines as far as what can we announce about various things,
Right.
because that's the thing about people that you care about is they tell you something and then you're like, oh, that's great news. I can't wait to tell everybody. And they're like, it's not. No, I want to tell them.
Yeah.
I want to tell them. It's my exciting news to tell them. I'm like, well, I mean, and they always say, well, if they're your friends, and I don't really know them, that's fine. But to other extended family or people that they will see,
because it's their thing, right?
It's their thing.
Yeah.
They want to tell it. So
nope, I can see all of that, and I also think you're right, and maybe we'll just get it out of the way now about Charlie Kirk, because so that kind of violence is not the answer, and we both feel that way. But the other side of it is, I mean, I'm not grieving that the world lost a hateful human, right? I don't think that's the answer. I think it just pushes us farther down this awful place. Yeah. But the other side of it is, and I've unfriended people this since it happened. And it's really interesting to me. This one person has never said a word. She never said a word about George Floyd. She never said a word about all these things. And all of a sudden, she's like, I can't believe all these people, are celebrating. And not everybody's celebrating. What they're saying is, and some of them are actually saying, I am not celebrating, but I'm certainly not mourning. He fomented hate. But what she did, our dogs they're just playing, but they're loud. But it is really interesting to me that she has never spoken up for anybody, but she speaks up for him. So it was like, I didn't even say anything. It's like, you're done.
Yeah.
Right? And you know what? He was a hateful human. Now, I did have somebody else share a post that said her and a friend who thought he was a good guy. I may have to go kill that dog. But what was a good guy, they showed each other the clips of who they saw. And she said the clips that her friend who liked him saw were him talking about it was the propaganda part where we have to talk to each other and stuff. But the thing is, the way he talks to you, if you don't agree with him, it's crap. Somebody put up a post and it was like, his family watched him die live on whatever. People mocked him, called him scum, did all of these things. And then the person said, oh, I'm talking about George Floyd, not Charlie Kirk. Were you mistaken? Right? And it was the same people. Charlie Kirk called him scum and said he deserved to die.
Yep.
So there is it turned the world upside down, and there was a chance, though, for a lot of people on the right to bring the world together. And they didn't.
No.
Right? It's just, for me, it was a turning point, which is what his company was called, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it was an opportunity for Trump or for his wife, and his wife is just like, I'm taking over.
Yeah.
And I just shared a meme that just said, honey, he didn't think women should be anywhere but in the kitchen and in the bedroom. So the patriarchy doesn't let you
They
take
don't want
over.
you.
Yeah.
They don't want you.
Right?
Yeah.
But we won't get into, because the fact is, there was nothing, we had no control over any of that. However, he's the one that freaking said, oh, well, if the cost of having, access to guns is, gun deaths every year. So I'm
It's
sorry,
worth
like,
it.
but
He
that's,
said
yeah.
it's worth it. Yeah. All right then.
Right.
See if your kids
Well,
agree in
well,
15 years.
but that's exactly right. But the thing is, we do have to find a way, and I'm trying really hard, because I am really pissed off at the people that are speaking out who never spoke out before. But we do have to find a way. This shows us how far down we've gone.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm just so grateful. Like, Canada isn't perfect by any stretch, but we don't have that, right?
Yeah, we do not. We have. I've never been so grateful for our gun laws.
Yeah.
Because I think that because growing up in Canada, living in Canada for my entire life as I have, I don't appreciate gun culture.
Yeah.
To me, it's kind of a thing that you see on TV. We just watched an episode of Parks and Rec yesterday where Ron Swanson, Ron Swanson, where you're meeting his mother, who is a, guns forever,
Yeah.
raised my boy to skin a squirrel at age 4,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And to me, it's like that gun culture that's a TV meme.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
a trope.
Yep.
It's not real.
Yeah.
Oh no, it is real though.
Yeah.
Actually, it is real, and it's hard for me, even though I come from a very, farm centric kind of background where my dad had a gun. I had a gun.
Yeah.
Like I learned to shoot. I didn't ever kill anything. I just learned to shoot targets, and I like it. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
But my dad always went hunting. He always went hunting with his friends. We butchered
Yeah.
animals on our property.
Yeah.
That kind of violence, if you will, was part of my life, but it was never celebrated as our guns are right and we get to use military. They were hunting rifles and they were shotguns.
And there's a purpose to having them, and
Yeah.
that's just it. I'm not anti-gun. If you're
No.
a responsible gun owner, and if you use it, I'm anti-trophy hunting. But if you use it, if you go out, because there is a whole thing, and I don't know enough about it, but where there has to be a certain amount of hunting, and you cull the herd and all this stuff, but then you eat the meat and you do something with it. But if you're just going out to get a lion's head, it's like that's
Nope.
not sport.
Nope, that's
right?
not sport.
And I know they do have to cull those animals, but there are different ways. There are more
Yeah.
humane ways to do it.
Yeah.
And I still don't think hunting is a sport, because you have a gun, right?
Oh.
It is not. It's not like tennis where you both have the same gear, right?
No. If you're, subsistence
itchy nose.
subsistence hunting and fishing, and so we're at Tofino for the past week, and my son-in-law has he's an avid fisher. I don't think he hunts, but he fishes, and he got us to grab his rod and
Yeah.
his tackle and stuff to bring along when we met them out there. So he was out there fishing as much as he could,
Yeah.
and I have not fished actively. I've done a little bit, but basically when I realized that I had to whack the thing over the head, and so they were talking about how one of the fishes that he caught, Abel, who's 3, saw it, and he was all about the blood. It's like it's bleeding. What about the blood?
Oh.
And that's for me, hunting is one level. Fishing, though, they're fish. No, actually, fish do
Yeah.
have blood. They
Yeah.
do have feelings. They do have pain
Yeah.
and all that. But you know what? You're doing it to eat the fish. It's
Yeah.
not a sport.
No, the cycle of
It
life
is a sport,
but
but-
the cycle of life is and I also I understand sport fishing, although and this is coming from somebody who goes to a grocery store and buys fish and buys meat,
Totally.
right? Like the other thing
Yep.
is I'm a little hypocritical, but I also, you go sport fishing and I get it, but it puts the fish under stress,
Yeah.
right? And I understand it, and maybe there's a balance, and I get that. But when we were little kids, I have to say my younger sister used to always kiss the minnows goodbye, and then my dad would put the hook through it, right? And it's like,
No.
that's traumatic. Right, but it's or you get the fish and then you realize what you're having for dinner.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it's a good thing to know. I used to work with when I worked on the Chinese edition of Maclean's magazine. Our editor was Chinese because we were taking the content from the one magazine, the English magazine, and we were translating it and writing little intros in to
Okay.
explain the context for new, right? Canadians,
Canadians.
right? But she was Buddhist, and she would say a little prayer of thanks to, when we would go out to eat, she'd say a prayer of thanks for the animal that gave its life to nourish us, or gave her life. And it's one of those, I think when you appreciate it,
Yeah.
it's a different thing.
Yeah.
But like, I still couldn't go, and I know I eat meat. I like steak.
Yeah.
Right? But the idea of connecting those two, every time I do it, I don't eat beef for like 6 weeks,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Or 6 months. It's one of those, it's just a weird, it's how, as city people, you're brought up like that. But as farm people or ranch people, you're brought up, this is the cycle of life, right?
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing. But like the whole game hunting thing that people do,
Yeah.
I don't know. Or the,
Well, and as far as I'm concerned, like I don't know enough about the gun culture wars debate to really speak intelligently toward it. My only thing is that there's a difference between allowing people to have rifles and shotguns and allowing them to have AK-47s. Military grade guns have no business in the hand of non-military people.
also, you don't need open carry or concealed carry with an AK-40 or whatever. So I was
Oh my
I was
gosh.
on a cruise and I had a conversation with these people who were Trump supporters, and I was trying very hard to have an open mind and discuss it. And they were talking about, they're from Atlanta, and there were riots in Atlanta at one point, like a few years ago. There was a lot of stuff going on, and there were protesters, and the protesters happened to be black people.
Okay.
Right? So we were talking, and then they said something about gun laws, and they said, well, we have guns. And I said, okay. And they said, we live in the country, kind of in the country. It's a bit for protection. I was like, okay. And then I said, do you have an AK-47 or one of those, military style? And it's like, well, yeah. And it was like, why? And they said, well, there were protests. And I was like, okay. So what you're telling me is you're afraid of black people. Right? I had enough bubbles where I was speaking my
You
mind.
said that?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And they were like, no. And I said, how close were you to the protests? And they were like, well, a few miles away. And I was like, so you were so afraid of black people. You weren't in any immediate danger, but you needed a military-style rifle that's used for killing. Right? And they got very quiet and left shortly after. But it was like one of those where it's like, why do you need that?
Why do you need that? Why does anyone
don't.
need that?
You don't.
No.
They like to play with them. So I would be okay if you're a person that likes to shoot guns. You should, if you need to have that, it should be locked up somewhere. You have to
Yes.
go to this range.
Join a
you have to
club.
sign something
Yep.
to get it out. You have to go through a bunch of tests to own it. You
Yep.
can't take it out of the club.
Nope.
Right? It has to be there because
Yep.
it's these young freaking, it's typically young men. Most of them are young white men, whether, there's all this thing right now about it isn't, but it is young white men.
Yeah.
And they have access to them. So perhaps whatever's happening with them in their mental health, it would have manifested in a different way. And people, like the
Yes.
same day Charlie Kirk was killed, there was another school shooting,
Yeah.
and it got no attention.
No, I got ignored.
Right?
Completely.
And it's one of those where it's like, it's the access to the guns, and they're like, guns don't kill people, people kill people. And it's
Yes,
like, well,
with
you're not
guns.
fixing, and you're not fixing the mental health of the people. So the easiest, the most direct thing to do is take the guns
Take
out
the
of their
guns
hands.
away. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't get it. And if
No.
if there's an American out there that's going to explain why gun culture is good, you're probably not watching us
No,
anyway.
no.
But there's no, and
not
these
our
kids have
audience.
access,
Yeah.
right?
That's the thing. Like, why? Why do they have
Yeah.
access? Hey, you don't need to go up there. No, get back down. Come
Paul's
on.
up there. Doesn't matter.
He can learn.
Neil likes to run around the house. He likes to check out all the rooms.
He does. He
Okay,
does.
so you want to hear my funny?
I do.
So someone asked me the other day, how long have you and Roxanne known each other? And do you know what my answer was, Roxanne?
What was it?
It was, just since 1692, when we were burned at the stake together for being witches. Thanks for asking.
I love that.
Yeah, I don't think
I
that
love
person's talking to me either. So,
Yeah,
you know.
I've seen
Okay.
that one and I love it. And I love it because that is the Leanne's watching because she watches us all
Yes.
the time. And
Hello, Leanne.
that is sort of the theme of the series that she and I are going to work on together.
I would like to be a witch.
You
I'm
might
not sure.
be.
I'm not. Well, I am a witch. But,
Ooh, we're going to use your
but,
name.
But I'm not sure I want to be burned at the stake. Could I be one of the ones that
Well, you
fights
know,
back?
It's Leanne knows a ton of stuff about witches because she's done so much research into this. But apparently, very few were actually burned at the stake. They're mostly hung or drowned.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
drowned.
I know the drowning thing.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
drowning
We
thing
were
was
somewhere. Where was I with you? Like it was somewhere. I thought it was in Europe, but maybe it was somewhere in this. Because I have been to Salem, but there was somewhere where they showed where they kept putting her under and she kept surviving, and then so finally it got so bad that they stopped trying because they were kind of scared of her.
Yeah.
Right? But they kept trying. Like first they
my
tried to
God.
hang her, I think, and that didn't work. And then they tried to drown her, and maybe she could hold her breath for a long time. I don't know. But
Holy.
it was. I'll have to go back and look because it was a story. Like it was some kind of like history tour that I took. Right?
Huge torture.
Yeah.
Is what
Oh
that is.
well, you know. So there was another thing I just saw recently, and a teacher got a class, and it was a class that was studying, right, the witch trials and all that kind of stuff. And the teacher went around to each person and told them if they were a witch or not. Do you know this one?
I do. It's a good one.
It's really good. So then they all had to gather in groups, and they were supposed to make sure that their group had no witches in it, right? And at the end of it, they all started to turn on each other, and it got really ugly, right? Because they had to, like, it was like, well, everybody's saying you're not a witch. Like, and they started going, I think it's you. And they started to, you know, do that thing where the group turns on one, right?
You're
And
acting
then-
weird.
yeah,
Oh, I don't
yeah.
know. I didn't like
You're
the way you
suspicious.
look nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And then it turns out the teacher told all of them they weren't a witch.
There was no witch.
Yeah. And she said, so what do you think? What do you
Yeah.
think happened back then? Which is a really good way to
Yeah.
get people to see it, right? It was like when I read that, it was like, oh, because they
So
lived
smart.
it.
Yeah, they did.
Right?
They did. So they'll have a different
Yeah.
feeling about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
No,
yeah,
it's
that's
really,
a good one.
it is a really good one. So the other thing, because I've been thinking about the future self stuff. So when I you know, do things like, I did some work this weekend because it was a busy week and it's due tomorrow. And, you know, today when I was working on it, I was feeling a little sorry for myself. And then it was like, no,
As you do when you work on a Sunday.
yes. But Monday, Ruth, oh yeah, it's a Sunday today
Yeah.
because Roxanne
gone.
was away, and yesterday, I don't know what, it was a thing.
Oh, yeah,
Everybody was
yeah,
tired.
yeah.
But I was thinking about, but it's okay because Monday, Ruth will be happy with you that you did this, right? So that somebody asked people, what are the non-therapy things you started doing this year that changed your mental health? And this one woman said, I do little favors for my future self. Future me will love waking up with nothing on the floor of my room. She'll love the leftovers from tonight's meal. She'll love the smell of fresh laundry.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And instead of, like, sometimes I know I joke and say, that's future Ruth's problem. But instead of that, what if you said, I'm going to do that, so tomorrow Ruth is okay?
It's funny because I was thinking about that today because I have a thing about I don't like to come home to a dirty house, and as it turned out, we left and we had to be prepared for a possible showing while we were gone. So we left our house in really good condition.
I had a party
You did, but I
in
also
her house.
Oh, well, you were good at cleaning up then, because it's all good. But I don't like to go to bed with dirty dishes. Like I would rather stay up late
that's
after
Paul.
after we get together and clean everything up than get up in the morning. The last thing I want is to get up to a dirty kitchen. I want everything clean. I don't even, if I could have my preference, I would do the dishes before I eat my meal at supper. I would rather do the dishes first. Yeah, I know it's getting worse. I ain't getting more flexible with age, weirdly enough. But I just want it to be all done so that when I sit down and relax, there's nothing for future Roxy
Right.
to be.
That's good, though. So
dreading.
you've been living it anyway.
Kind of, yeah. So then, yeah, and then this week, of course, we lived in very close quarters with our kids, and it's hard to do that because you can't clean up after two kids. There's just always mess. It's like, how does
Yeah.
the saying go? Cleaning the house while the children are growing is like shoveling snow while it's still snowing.
Yeah.
There's no point. But you still do
tidy
what you
a
can,
bit, right?
But
Yeah.
But my son-in-law, who's a great chef and loves to cook and all that, he is I am making the food. I'm using every utensil. I'm using every spoon. Yeah, I'm familiar with that mindset. And
Not me, man. Not me.
No, not you. But you've got Paul who cleans up after you, like everywhere you go. And And
Okay, just for the record though, everywhere I go to, like not when I need it, because sometimes it's like
I'm
I
not
take
done
my
with it
tea,
yet.
and all of a sudden it's like, where's my tea? I take my tea into the kitchen because I'm getting something, and then as I'm getting it, I turn around and my tea's gone, and he's already put it in the dishwasher, and it's like it was still hot.
Yeah,
I think that's you.
That is not me. That is not me, because I will clean up after myself, but I won't take somebody else's stuff if I can see it in use. I'm really actually quite good at that.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, because
I think I've been in your house and my tea disappeared. Was it Paul or was it you?
You never have tea in my house. You have wine.
I do have wine. Speaking of wine, what are we drinking?
I know, I've been thinking about that too. I'm like, should we tell them? Can they guess? Can you guess?
What are we drinking?
What do you think we're drinking? Because we haven't said anything, but you have seen it because I've lifted my glass a few times. And we have a chiller sleeve on it. So
yes.
I'm just going to say
it's our regular
Stoneboat Bubbles. But the glasses are super cute. You see that?
See the flamingo in there?
Little flamingo swimming around.
So we're gonna tag Stoneboat. So I have to say that not I mean it's not like we have this huge audience, but if we grow it, it would be good for Stoneboat, because this week 2 of our friends have ordered Stoneboat. Right?
Oh.
Because of this. So Terry, right?
Okay.
Terry ordered 6,
Okay.
and then Maria ordered 6.
And did you tell them to mention our name?
Yeah, well, I should have, though. I ordered Terry's through the wine club because
Okay.
because I wanted her to have the wine club price.
Yeah.
And Maria's too. But it's one of those where it's like, I think we need to tell Stoneboat, like, we're going to start tagging them because we
Yeah.
mean to, and then we don't.
We always mean to. And we always mention them in our show notes, but that is not tagging. They do not see that.
But we're going to get better at all this, because 2026 is going to be the year we're going to promote the podcast and see if we could do this. Maybe we could do it every week if we could actually do it so it
I am
brings in
not
some
driving
money.
out to the ferries every other week. I'm just telling you that
We
right
can do
now.
Zoom.
Zoom is good. Zoom is good.
Also, if we're making enough money, you could just fly over.
That's true. That's true. And once I'm not living here anymore,
Okay, she's just come back from the ferries, just for the record.
I'm
So
crabby
she's
about travel.
she's ferry cranky.
Yeah, very cranky.
But did you have ferry fries when you were on the ferry?
I did not. I did not leave the vehicle, in fact.
ferry
No, I did.
fries.
I got up to go to the bathroom once, but ferry fries are good. Yeah. But I had Qualicum Beach fries.
You did.
Which
They
were
went by,
really good.
and we'll put it up. Roxanne. All of a sudden, I'm sitting there and I get this text, and it's Roxanne standing in front of our new house, which was really funny. And then they went on a little tour around, and you talked to neighbors, I heard.
just a little bit, or we mostly.
She mostly said, "Oh, look, did we do that?"
You know, so I was
That's
just having a
great.
conversation with Meg, right? We were on FaceTime, and we're just talking like usual, and we had balloons go up. We had thumbs up. We had a thumbs down. We don't know why. 'Cause we're just talking. Megan's looking at it too. She's like, "Why is that happening?" And I said, "You tell me, because this happens to me and Ruth, but we're not on FaceTime."
No.
So that was FaceTime. This is just
It is recording. There must be a keyword that
There's got
does
to be.
it.
There's
Yeah.
got to be something. We don't
Yeah.
know what it is.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, could go back to our thing. Pretty sure they told the neighbors, it's like, watch out for them, they're in trouble.
Should have. No, but there was definitely some, like there was one woman across this, there was a man walking his dog, and it's not like we hung out there long, but we had to let the dogs out. Anyway, and there's a woman.
Did you let the dogs out to pee on my lawn?
Well, first of all, your lawn is dead.
I know it's really dead.
And second of
very
all, no,
dead.
I moved down the street. We stayed in the ditch in the easement area, but I should have.
You should have. That would've been good
But
picture.
somebody else lives there right now. That would have been good.
Was there a car in the driveway?
There was no car in the driveway. Yeah, so I did feel like tiptoeing around, but
could've-
then I thought, that's not how I'm going to get arrested on this piece of property.
Yeah, she'll get arrested.
I'm going
a
to find
different
another way.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this woman was asking the neighbor who was walking his dog about a piece of furniture that was sitting out on the street. She said,
Oh.
"Do you think this is free?" And he says, "Yep, that happens on various days. People put stuff out. It's either
Oh, that's cool.
take it, it's free, or it's going
in the whatever.
to the
right.
Goodwill." Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's such a cute neighborhood. Oh my gosh. Like the houses they're small and they're
Yeah.
old, but they are full of character. You can tell because some
Yeah.
of them are like there was one that was painted purple, I think, with
Yeah.
like gingerbread spindles.
Oh, that's cool.
And you're so close to everything.
Most of
I
it.
think it was like a 15-minute drive down to the beach,
Yeah.
and we went through town, didn't
Yeah.
know where we were going.
Yeah. Yeah, it
So it's
should only
probably
be a
shorter.
15-minute walk if you
Yeah,
like,
I can see
if you
that.
know the right
Yeah.
things, because
Yeah.
it's
I can
not
see
far.
that.
But that was on our checklist of all the stuff we wanted, because we don't mind small, but it was like our checklist of everything. You know, there's a studio in the back. There's room for me to have a dome.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's got, It's got all of the things we wanted, a garden and all the things. It just didn't have a ocean view, which was would love to have, but not a priority.
Yeah.
We can walk to groceries. We
Yeah.
can walk to the restaurants. We can walk to the farmer's market.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I
was,
saw the sign. I think
yeah.
farmer's market would have been yesterday, so we traveled on the Friday, but
Right, it was Saturday.
yeah, Saturday.
Yeah.
I love farmers
Yeah.
markets when they're good, right?
Yeah,
Because
and that one's a good one.
We have one here that we've gone to. Well, a small one
Yeah.
in town.
Yeah, it's not matured enough yet.
No, there wasn't much
Yeah.
going on, but
And they keep theirs all year.
oh, do they?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. The one we went to was it?
Oh, Kelowna or Penticton.
Penticton.
It was awesome.
That's one of the best ones
Yeah.
I've been to.
Yeah.
And then we also went to the Kelowna one, which was also good.
Yeah. No, it was really
Yeah.
good. So we're lucky. Ray is away, and Paul is going to get us pizza and maybe Caesar salad for dinner.
There's a place just up there. There are so many cool things here, and we'll
Yeah.
find cool things in our new neighborhoods. But
Yeah.
but this place up the road, Chestnut Springs, they had a little stand in Yarrow.
Yes.
Or a storefront.
They
Or
had
was
a
it
cafe, and then they put the pizza truck. like-
Yeah, they had. That's right.
Yeah.
It was a truck. Yeah, a little Airstream or
Yeah.
something. And they make really good pizza.
Yeah, they
but
make
only
great
on
pizza.
Sundays.
Yeah.
So today,
It's more a wedding event venue kind of
Yeah,
thing, and then
yeah.
and on Sundays between I think it's 2 and 7, which
Yeah.
is really great. And the pizza's good, and Paul's going to get a cider, which is unusual for him because ciders are usually not his thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Nope, it is. It's
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like 10-minute drive from here, maybe.
Yeah, it's not. For me, I did just discover it. We had pizza one time from the one in Yarrow, but we
yeah.
hadn't. Yeah, we
Yeah.
hadn't. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you learn any life lessons while you were on the beach in Tofino? We'll have to put up like either a picture or a little video. We should put the picture up of the dogs running.
I will.
Okay,
Yeah, I
because
will.
that'd be really good. Because
Yeah,
Tofino is a spectacular place.
It is amazing.
It's not hard to get to, but it feels hard to get to. Like
does.
it's just a bit far from the ferry, so
Yeah.
that it's an adventure, and it's windy roads. So for me, it's a little
Yeah.
car sicky.
It is. Yeah. They're doing a ton of work on that road
Yeah.
right now, which is really helping. Because when we first started going years and years ago, we went every year for 10 years, and then other years that weren't consecutive with our kids. So
Yeah.
it's a very special spot
Yeah.
for us. But we had our spots. Oh, this is where we got to pull over and let someone throw up because our kids were all car sick.
Yeah.
And now our grandkids are all car sick.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense. But it's a challenging road.
Yeah.
But they're blasting out bits of, because you're driving along the cliff. You're on the
Yeah.
cliff side of these roads.
Yeah.
And it's not one way, but you better stay in your lane, man.
Yeah, you better be paying attention.
You better be paying attention because either you're head-on collision in this side, or you're going over
you're
the
going
edge
off the
into
edge.
the ocean
Yeah.
on this side.
Yeah.
And there was one year when we had gone and an ambulance had just missed the curve and gone over into the ocean. Yeah. Yeah. So so I don't know. I mean, you know how it works with roads, right? There has to be a certain number of
Yeah.
accidents, fatalities,
Yeah.
whatever.
And then
before
there's
they change
and
things.
it's a balance, right? Because you have to do that for safety, but they're also looking at the environmental impacts
Sure,
and stuff. Right?
exactly.
So there's all of
Yeah.
these, and
Exactly.
it is it's good they're doing it, but
Yeah.
it's also good. It sounds like they're doing it right.
Mm.
You know, is it there because it is a very nature driven and as much as BC can have some some overstepping when it comes because we've done some work for people who are fighting back against some things, but they're much better these days than they used to be.
Yeah.
Right? They do care about it.
I will say I did notice a few changes because it's been a couple of years since we've been. And pay parking was one of them because the town's just getting bigger, so
Yep.
that makes sense.
Also, it's revenue for the town.
It's revenue for the town for sure, but there's also I noticed much more First Nations names.
Oh,
on
that's
things.
good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Trying to think what it was. There's a couple of things that used to be something else, and this time I recognized that the name was. Yeah, they were definitely
They had
honoring.
switched back, right.
Yeah,
Oh,
they were
that's
honoring
good.
something else. So that was great
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah, and I think so. When we were first looking on the island, and it's like you look at all the places, and all of a sudden, because to me, Tofino used to be this sort of rugged where you could only go for resorts, or if you lived there, you lived in a resource, like either it was fishing or it was logging or all the stuff, right? Or you were as in tourism for like 4 months of the year kind
Right,
of thing.
right.
And then all of a sudden, it's like there are these beautiful homes there that are new, and it was just
Yeah.
like, but for me, as much as we're okay with being kind of far away, that's too far.
Oh,
right?
Tofino, it's funny.
It's remote, kind of.
This was the first time that I ever felt that, because I love it. That's been, for me, years my favorite place to be. Now, we've always gone in September, or at least later in the season, enough that you're not getting the full tourist glut.
Yeah.
And we've had one trip, I think, that got cut short by rain, but mostly we've had really good weather. September is a great time to go. But it's the first time where I actually felt, mostly because our dogs were sick, they got into something on the beach. So, life lesson on the beach, back to that question.
Put a muzzle on.
Don't let your dog eat rotten stuff on the beach, or you'll be up in the night cleaning your crate.
Although, to be fair, you didn't let them.
I didn't let him. I got him before that. But who knows? Like those
bunches
also
of
kelp.
But they can also just scoop it up before you even see that they've got it, right?
For sure, yeah. Our dogs aren't eaters, but it only takes like one bit on the nose of bacteria, and that's it. So anyway, this was so we did leave one day early, partly because Ray had to also leave for a work gig that we hadn't really planned adequately for ahead of time. So we left a day early. And it's the first time that I felt a little bit like, I can see where people might feel a little trapped if they were here.
Yeah.
Because the rain was just starting to come in.
Yeah.
And, you get in your car and it's 3 hours across the island.
Yep. And then for us to
Plus
get
or
home,
minus.
a 2-hour ferry, and then a 2-hour, right?
Exactly, yeah. And you don't, that's if you've reserved.
Right.
And you haven't missed a ferry.
Yeah, well, you almost have to reserve. So
let's talk about hair. Yours looks great right now.
Thank
it's
you.
Really cute and spiky.
Bradley.
Did you have it done again?
No.
But you did it just
I had a shower.
A week. Well, congratulations.
No, it's been a couple of weeks, I think.
I think you did it just before we left, right?
Yeah.
I also got mine cut, but I'm also growing mine out a little bit now, and that's always a dangerous proposition. And also
because she cuts her own hair, just saying. Briley, pay attention.
She knows.
She does know because I rat you out every time.
Yeah, you do. But I realized that I really need to be able to put my hair in a ponytail because I kind of have to get it off my neck. This stuff drives me crazy.
Look,
but.
So her dog Neo has like the Kramer entrance.
Oh
right?
boy, does he
He's
ever.
So funny, man.
Yeah, that is exactly
exactly
how he enters.
But yes. Okay, let's talk about taking care of your health. Right? Because I have a mole. It might be the dangerous mole, or it might just be irritated.
Yeah, now it's irritated. I don't have my glasses on.
I think it's both irritated and maybe I'm going to go get it checked just because.
You need to get it checked.
Right? Jimmy Buffett died from skin cancer and I don't want to, but I think I may have irritated, but I also
you're
realized.
You're going to die of something else.
Are you going to kill me?
I'm making plans as we speak.
I was going to say, she seemed a little devious when she said that. But also, I think it's one of those where it's like, so I also like just recently changed shampoos, and it might be irritating it, right? Right? Because I figure it would irritate my skin totally if it was anyway. It could be this, or it could be most of my tops come to like right about there.
I think that's the more likely thing is that it's something
Necklace
has
or
grabbed
something
because I've got a
irritated it.
tiny little one right there. Really, mine's a skin tag, not a mole. But if I wear just the right necklace, there's one that catches on it and it feels terrible. Yeah. And then it gets
mad.
It gets raw. Yeah. And then once it's mad.
Yeah. But also this is a little itchy, which worries me. Right. So I'm going to go check.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of the things to say because I just had this whole conversation with my doctor. Right. So I did on Friday. It was like a whole check-in about Ozempic and how it's going. And I'm for the last 3 weeks I've been fighting with the same 2 pounds. I lose it, I gain it. It's like anyway. But we also talked about because I just had a mammogram. Right?
Ugh,
and I'm due for a pap
mine.
smear.
Yeah.
And because years ago, and I swear to God, it was just, I don't know, hemorrhoids or something, but there was a little tiny bit of blood in my stool, so I had to have a colonoscopy.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, but the other
Which
thing
you
is,
should have had anyway.
But, yeah, I guess.
Once you're 50.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have at least one.
Well, I'm only 22. But anyway, so it was good I did.
And delusional.
There were a couple of polyps, and I also have to say, and I said this to the doctor, who laughed a little too hard, but I was like, you know what, for the first time in my life, because like drugs have never been my thing. Like I don't even smoke pot. But for whatever they put you under, when you have a cola, it was like having tea with the angels.
Oh, it's good
right?
stuff.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Right? But so we're having all these conversations about things and she was talking and she's like, wow, you're quite proactive, although I'm kind of behind on the pap smear because that's never fun.
Aren't you doing the mail-in one?
I'm going to now.
Okay, yeah.
But the other side of that is like, it made me realize how fortunate we are that we can be proactive with
Yes,
this, right? Like
yes.
I did, because my mom, although now there's some confusion in my brain whether she had cervical cancer or ovarian cancer. I always thought it was ovarian.
Interesting.
But anyway, there's
That's
nobody I can
important
ask,
information.
right? I thought it was ovarian, but now my dad's gone, right?
Yeah.
I think my sister either doesn't remember or she remembers differently. And so I think I could go back and maybe find her medical records, and I'm going to. But anyway, so having the conversation, when I was talking to the doctor I have now, who said, look, if your mom died from one of these things, especially ovarian cancer, and you know, I've had several aunts that have had issues, and my dad had a leukemia something, like it was a long-term whatever. But they were like, so they put me through a cancer screening where you did a bunch of blood tests and they followed, and I'm all good.
Okay.
Right. But the other thing is, I was thinking how fortunate we are here.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't I get it that we pay more for milk and for wine and for tea. But I'd rather do that over time and never have to worry about losing our house.
Yeah,
Right. If you
exactly.
get sick, right.
Exactly.
Or having to stay at a job I hate because I
Just
have
'cause
health
you have
insurance.
benefits.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like how fortunate we are. But also I encourage you, like it is, I know we have some males that watch us, but it's a lot of women, and it's like, please check the things out. Right.
Yeah.
Like, and get your husbands to go for all the exams that boys are supposed to get. Because even if you're in the States and you have to pay for that test is a lot cheaper than if you get the thing.
Yeah,
Right? Like
yeah.
it's we really have to be careful as we get older.
Yeah.
And you know, I gotta say, after Jimmy Buffett got skin cancer, it was kind of like, if that can happen to him, it can happen to any of us. It wasn't skin cancer from the sun; it was a different kind of skin cancer. Because it was a very I know he had it for about 4 years before he passed away, and I know they did everything they could because Jimmy Buffett had enough money to do whatever he needed to do.
All right,
So-
you're looking like you're proud of something you did, and you're trying to tell me about it, and that worries me. What did you do that you want to let me know about? And then beg
They're little funny
forgiveness?
faces, hey?
Beg forgiveness, ask
Yep.
permission. I don't know what. I don't
Okay,
know
so
what
go
you're
back. You never said the life lesson. Did you learn any life lessons besides, don't pick up a pooping child?
Always watch body language.
That's a good one, though.
It is. That is a good one. So I had a little conversation briefly. I just got to think, is this going to be something I have to edit out later or not? With my son-in-law. So there's a thing in families. There's the people who are blood related, and then there's the people who are married in or partnered in or whatever, right? And I see a lot of similarities between my husband and my daughter, and I have a lot of empathy sometimes for my son-in-law, and I saw a little exchange, and I just kind of looked at him and I said, "Yep, I feel ya.
Yep.
And he's like, "You got any advice?" And I said, "Here's my advice for staying married to a snowpeck. Be patient. Get all the therapy you can possibly afford for both of you.
Drink.
And then stand firm when you need to.
Oh, that's good advice.
Don't pick fights, because
Right.
they'll happily do that for you.
Excuse me for a second.
So there's no need to do that. Pick your battles. But then when you pick one that's worth it, you stand firm and you demand respect.
Right.
And you do not back down. It's the only.
Yeah. But that's an interesting one, right?
Yeah, because there are many of us who tend to be a little. I don't seek conflict. I avoid conflict. I think my son-in-law does too. I am generally a peacemaker. There's lots of reasons for that, but I am very aware of other people's. Most of the time, not always, but I'm very aware of other people's body language, and if somebody's uncomfortable or unhappy or feeling stressed or aggressive, I'll probably pick up on that pretty quickly. And I have everything to gain from calming things down and nothing to gain from escalating.
Right.
That's my general.
Yep.
That's just how I work. But when an issue comes up, if something is like crosses a line, it's like, nope, thus far. And I always think of Gandalf in the Mines of Moria when he puts down his staff and he's like, "This shall not pass. Or you shall not pass." I'm like, yeah, okay. So you want this fight? I will go to the mat with you, and you will lose.
Here's the line.
Here's the line. And every time I've done that with my husband, he's like, what did I just unleash? And it's like, I will give you a lot of leash. I will give you a lot of leeway to be the self that you need to be, to grow and change and all that, because I am so much more evolved than you.
Boys.
But in some ways, I do think I have higher EQ, emotional intelligence and all that than he does. And I think my son-in-law does too. And he is very much a pacifist kind of guy, whereas my daughter is she's very strong-minded. And she has learned in her career and in her life to be very. She needs to get things done. She needs to be strong in her position to give the best care to her patients that she can. She has stood up to doctors. She has called doctors onto the mat. She's very assertive in her job. And sometimes in personal relationships.
But it's hard to turn that off.
It's hard to turn that off. That's the same thing with my husband. And they're both medical people, which may play a role. So I'm telling him, it's like, a lot of patience, a lot of therapy. And then when you pick a fight, you stand your ground. You don't go out looking for it. But it's like, nope, you're wrong. And if you value this relationship, you're going to hear me right now.
But I think that's a good way to say it, because I'm really like, honestly, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't, it'll be like, oh, that's stupid, but it's not the hill to die on, right? Like you just go along until you cross the line. Right? I had somebody say to me once, you give them enough rope to hang themselves. And it's like, most of it, it's like, I don't care, whatever. But if it comes down to like something that's really important, it's like, nope. And for those who don't pay attention to who I am, it's like they're a little surprised when the thing goes down, because it's like, what? Right?
You know what? If you'd been paying attention at all, you'd have seen this coming. And you would have pulled back earlier, but you know what? You didn't. So now you're gonna get some learning now.
But that's exactly. But it is interesting, and I think that's just it. Because in the big scheme of things, like I read a thing a long time ago, and it was like, if you're not going to be mad about it in 60 days or 6 years or whatever, like there was a whole thing, and it was like, okay. So if I'm not going to be mad about it, then why am I getting so uptight about it now? Right. And so I've kind of put that in, because I also can be like, I can also be quite I have very black and white ideas about what's right and wrong when it comes to inclusivity and that kind of thing. But it is an interesting thing when you're not the one who immediately jumps to conflict, and you're sort of, you are the because I'm happy to like, oh, we can fix that. Oh, hang on, let's talk about this. Oh, we could do it this way. I'm the compromiser in the thing. But then there's a thing, like people are like, oh my God, you just unfriended that person. And it's like, I'm not being friends with a racist. I don't care what the freaking reason is. Right? Like we all have our lines. Right? I mean, for me, if I'm trying to think of like an easy one where it's like, if somebody wants to come to a black tie event and they want to wear jeans, it's not going to throw me off. I don't care, right? If somebody says, "Oh, I can't come because you're going to have gay people there," it's like, then go away.
Do not come.
Then actually you're not invited, right? Like there's the stuff that's like, so there was when Paul Bernardo and Carla Homolka were doing their evil, awful things, and for those who are in the U.S., they were just awful people, and you have to Google it. But one of the victims who ended up dying, but what they got from the testimony and the stuff that came out after, is they were trying to get her to do something, and she said no, and they said basically it was, we're going to hurt you, we're going to kill you, and she said some things are worth dying for. Right, and I'm paraphrasing a bunch of it because it was, but it was also like, there's a line that comes when it's not like, oh, you don't want to go for pizza? Okay, I'll go for Chinese, right? It's a different, it's a values and an integrity and an equality and equity thing, and that's when I'll freaking go to the mat.
Such a klutz.
Oh my God, they're so funny. But it is interesting because when people that are usually like, that's okay, well, I'll go along. Oh, that's okay, that's not the hill to die on. And then when you do put the line in the sand, people are like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, and then you better pay attention. Yeah. And I think a lot of those, like, it's easier anyway with the with the bigger things, like
Yep.
those hard line items, when they come up, it's generally pretty easy. The challenging thing for me is when there are, I guess you would call them microaggressions,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
That happen on a kind of regular basis. Like, for example, if somebody kind of gaslights you or
Yes.
or talks down to you or makes you question yourself or if someone interrupts you.
I don't think we interrupt each other. I think we get excited and want to contribute. Like that, to
Right.
me, that's different than
Yeah.
being dismissed.
Yes, exactly. Because I think we're both getting excited.
Yeah,
talking
and we're
over each other.
interested. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a book that I'm reading right now that has it's really illustrating well what a gaslighting abuser is doing, and it's hard to see that because on the surface sometimes, or in casual conversation or casual interactions with someone who does that, you would never see what's going on under the surface, and sometimes it's the reaction of the person who is receiving the gaslighting or that
But along with the gaslighting is the passive aggressive stuff, right?
Oh, the passive aggressive stuff is a big deal too. Yeah,
It's like just say it.
yeah.
Don't say it's all good and then it's not, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I had my husband and I had a really good conversation before we went to Tofino, because there'd been some tension throughout the summer about various things, mostly related to moving.
Well, that's just it. It's like, but it is a stressful time. Yeah.
And we have patterns that we fall into that we have through lots of patience and as much therapy as we can afford.
Yep.
Have overcome or learned to at least recognize and deal with.
Yep.
But I had to call him on a few things, and to his credit, and this is what I've said many times, like, our relationship has survived, our marriage has survived and thrived because I'm willing to push through my discomfort at naming something and calling out conflict and say, I don't like this. This makes me feel this way, and I don't like this, and how can we change this? And he's like, you're right. That's what I did. I'm so sorry. I'm going to try not to do that anymore.
But also look at the language you used. I don't like this. Mm-hmm. This is how it makes me feel. Mm-hmm. You're not saying you're doing this that. Like that language is the language of discussion, as opposed to accusation, right?
As opposed to, you are a jerk.
Yes.
You've done this to me.
Yep.
I've never felt happy. Whatever. All these things.
Yep.
Like you learn that through therapy.
But that's just it. Like,
right?
That's how you learn to speak. To speak in a way that somebody can hear it.
Yes.
Right?
And to speak in a way that like, to me, I love my husband. He's a wonderful guy. So is my all three of my daughters, So my daughter, who was challenged by her partner this past week, like, they such great qualities. And so you want to recognize that.
Yep.
You want to recognize that this is a relationship that's really important to me. I love you. I love who you are.
Yep.
I love what we have together. This part is not working.
Yep.
How can we address this? This is where we've gone backwards in whatever.
Yeah, this is where we're
forward
heading.
motion. Yeah. So I don't want to go where this is heading. Do you want to go where this is heading? Because that's where this is going here. I would rather go here. Do you want to join me here?
Yeah.
It's a different. Yeah. So.
But it is interesting, and it's interesting to be able to see it, because when you're one step out of the relationship, it's easier to see it, right? But it's one of those. But it is, I'm always looking at when I say something or do something or and gaslighting, I think, sometimes happens authentically, right? Because somebody actually remembers it differently. Yeah. Right? Like it's a very different, it's not on purpose. It's not like the kind of sociopathic kind of thing.
Yeah.
And passive aggressive too, because it's like, oh, it's okay. And Paul's in the room, but I'll be like, I always know when he's there's something, because he'll be like, yeah, okay. Right? It's there's a tone in his voice, right? And it's like, but then when we have to go to the thing, he's a bit cranky, and I know why. Because if he had just told me in the first place, it would have been like, well, then don't go.
Right.
But also, he's trying hard to make me happy.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And honestly, I'd rather have somebody say, I don't want to.
Do you remember the last episode when I told you when we moved here and we went to a party, and then I got to the party and I burst into tears when I got there? I should never have gone to that party. I should never have gone. But Ray really wanted to go to that party, and I did not want to be left alone in a brand new house that we just moved into. But I didn't say that.
Right.
I didn't say that. And he was very clear. He's like, you don't have to come. I will go to this by myself. And I said, I don't want to be alone, so I'm going to come with you. What I didn't say was, I want you to stay
here
home with me.
Yeah.
And he might have said, I don't want to stay home with you. I want to go to this party anyway. And I think that's what he would have said. And I didn't want to hear that.
Right.
Because he should have made it. He should have chosen me. But so like, who's at fault there? Nobody really.
No, but it doesn't make anybody feel good.
But nobody,
right?
Nobody got help with it.
Yeah.
So it would have been better for me to stay home and then let him have it when he got home.
Better for you.
Is there any, I don't think there's any winning here.
No.
So I still think I made the right decision to go, let my emotions be displayed as they were, because nobody else at the party saw that part of me. But he got to have what he wanted. I wasn't alone in the evening.
Yeah.
I was exhausted at the end of it, but it's still the best of a rough scenario.
Also, at both of those, like, there was no win situation for you.
That's it. There was no real win situation.
Yeah.
So,
and that's part of it. But that's part of relationships too,
it
right?
is, yeah.
But it's also like sometimes, like when Paul talks about golf, you suck it up and you go, okay, this makes him happy. So what I'm going to hear is the enthusiasm in the thing.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Just like when he tells me, because the Blue Jays keep coming back from losing, and he's always really excited in the morning, and he tells me all the things that happened and like every freaking hit. And it's like, I have to take myself out of, I don't give a good crap about baseball, to like, look at how happy it makes him.
Yes.
Right? You have to reframe it.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm not certain that everybody has the ability to reframe it. Because honestly, you should see him when I talk, because you were gone and nobody to talk politics with. And I'm talking about like Charlie Kirk and all this stuff in the morning, and I could almost see him like, please, God, strike me with lightning.
Oh, I know I've got a limited time to talk about certain things with Ray, and I can hear it. Be like, yeah,
yeah,
and then,
yeah,
and then eventually there's no response at all.
That's just
I'm like, okay, I've used up my time now.
Yeah, no, that's just it. So which is why, but it also goes back to, but you have different relationships because you're never going to get everything from one person, right? It's one of those where I think it's really healthy to have different relationships and to have, because then you don't put the burden of something that somebody, like I'm so grateful when they talk golf.
Oh my goodness.
We walk, it's so good.
You have to have people with lots of interests in your life, and they're never going to find all that in one person.
No.
And even if you did, like I've often, it's kind of funny because my husband's parents do very little together, and that's how he grew up. They both had their own lives. They did their things separately. My parents did almost nothing apart.
Right.
They drove in together to work. They worked their shifts, and then he picked her up, and they came back home, and they were on the farm. They did their things. Like they traveled together. They do all their things together. And so that's what I thought.
That's what you thought life was.
That's what I thought life was. Whereas he's like, all right, well, good luck getting the kids to bed. I'm going out tonight. I'm like, what? And for, young kids are a bit of a different scenario. But for me, him having different friends or not including me in his friend circle was really threatening. Also because I didn't really have friend circles of my own, which was my own problem that I had to overcome. But
also 3 young kids, man.
Well, 3 young kids. But those different, like once I realized that, I'm like, oh, your modeling is that married people never do anything together.
See, and I think that's part of it, right? Is if you're coming at it from very sort of separate modeling.
It's the assumptions you don't know that you have.
And it's alien that it's like you're looking and it's like, and they're looking, like I know, I mean, and Paul's family are lovely and they're really close and they're really tight and they do all the things. And I'm like, okay, I've been here for 3 hours. I got to go be by myself now. Right. And that's how it would be in my family. Like, my mom would go down the street for a tea. My dad would go play hockey and stuff. But it's one of those where I can see them looking at me like, huh. Right. And it's because that's not the reality they live in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And neither one is wrong, but what you have to do is be able to go, oh, that's good for you.
It's another way of living.
Yeah.
It's another way. It's neither right nor wrong.
Yeah.
It's just another way. But you only know what you know, right?
Well, but that's just it. And until you're exposed to it, you don't even realize it's out there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's all like the dynamics of stuff is fascinating, and
It is.
and you can see like there are people that are like Ruth and Roxanne spend a lot of time together, right? It's kind of like at that age that's weird, and it's like, but for us it's not, because it's easy, because actually there's never a time when we're not talking, like, but we can also be like, we've been on trips together where it's like we're just sitting there enjoying the atmosphere, and we're not. It doesn't happen often that we're not talking, though, I have to say.
But it'll be like you and I both have very clear shutdown modes.
Yes.
It's like,
that's true.
And I'm done.
Yeah.
And early on, you would just suddenly disappear. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh
Where
my
did
God.
she go?
Did you see? I shared a meme. It was so good. And you know what? Because I always do the Irish goodbye where I just disappear, right? It's the Irish hello. You don't even go.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I liked it. It was like Paul, and he's like, no.
You are way more social than you pretend to be, but I did like that one, and so am I. I'm
Yes.
way more social
yes.
than I ever thought I was.
Yeah.
I love the meme that's like, I thought I was antisocial until my therapist said, maybe you're just hanging out with the wrong
assholes.
people.
Yeah,
And-
but the other
and
side
it
of that
really
is
hit me.
But also, we're okay with. I've just peopled enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
and also we never talk on the phone, which also, because we're both like phone.
Who talks on the phone?
Somebody. There better be like
Why?
there better be blood.
Arterial blood
Yeah.
and open fire,
Yeah.
as Nora Roberts says.
Yep. But it is one of those where that's the other thing is it's not like we have to talk. We want to talk, but we could also happily, like, we've been away together. We sat there and read books, or sat beside each other in the casino, and the only time we talked was like, oh, you won.
Hey, you got it.
Yeah.
Good. Let's buy a boat.
Yes.
No, in fact, let's buy a pizza oven.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly.
That's exactly what happened. But yes, but it is an interesting thing that just how other people do, like we had when Roxanne was away, because it was the only day, and we did this mini moon dance thing. But I was thinking about, like, the people that came were mostly from Beverly's. They do a happy hour every week, and those people are awesome, and they're interesting, and they're lovely.
They're a great group.
I couldn't do happy hour every week.
No.
Like, it would kill me, and it's not because I don't like them, but it's like, for me, that amount of commitment would be a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
Even though we mostly get together
and
on
they
Fridays,
do rotate. They do
at
rotate
houses.
locations, so it's never one person.
No, it's really like I really admire it.
Yeah.
It's just I couldn't commit to that, right? Like it's just one of those things where it's like, and again, that's what makes people interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because I think it's amazing, but it's also one of those where it's like, that's a lot of people in a room, even if it's all people I really like. And for me to do that every week, it's like, after Friday, which was really stinking fun, on Saturday it was like, I have no more words. I can't talk. I can't do anything.
That's it.
Right?
That's it. And I think that's the thing, is that when you and I get together, we have a conversation.
Yeah.
And it goes, as you know, a million different directions, right?
Like now.
And it's not, but it's mutual. It's interesting to us, at least. But when you're in a group where you don't know people to the same extent,
Right.
you're talking at a different level. It's a different kind of conversation, and it is the kind that is possibly less comes back in the form of energizing.
Yes.
And more goes out in
Yes.
terms of depletion.
Right. And it's
for
not
us
that you're not having
introverts.
fun. It's because everybody is so different, right? Like,
Yeah.
like Pink Beverly gains energy from social
Yeah,
situations,
she does.
right? And I really like them, but I have to come back and recharge.
Same here.
Right?
Yeah.
Whereas I think that fills up her tank. I think being alone might take away from her.
Well, and
Right?
and that's a really important point, because she lives alone.
Yes.
Right? We both have partners that we talk to, and other
Some days.
yeah. Right?
Yeah. But I also think that all of them tend to be more extroverted, and I don't know that they're not. And Kat and Steve, I don't think, go to every happy hour
I
with
agree,
them. But
yeah.
but you know what I mean. But it is an interesting thing, because it's really fun to do. Like Friday was really fun, and then it's like, but I'm good for now, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit like.
But how would you have felt, though? Like, that was Friday and it was here, so
Yes.
there's a certain responsibility
Yeah.
with being the host. But what if next week it's at Nancy and Steve's place, and
No.
you just go?
No,
It would still be too much for you. Because it's the same people?
Yeah, no, it's just because it's like, it's a big group like that is really fun and great while it's going on. But then it's a little bit like if you go somewhere and the buffet is all ice cream.
Okay.
Well, then I don't need ice cream for a while.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or,
that need has been sated, and
Yeah,
so...
yeah, and it doesn't mean I don't want to do it again. It just means I don't want to do it again tomorrow.
Right, yeah.
Right? It's like, and it's just enough, like I need to just sit and read my book, or I just need to, you know, do...
Well, and partly, like, you have a demanding job that involves meetings, online meetings, in-person meetings.
You got to talk to people.
Yeah, and so you're doing that, and that is demanding a certain amount of that social energy, right?
Yep.
You know, whereas I don't have that so much. I'm socialing with, you know, my kids a bit more, my grandkids, some other people, but not to the same extent that you are. So I've discovered that I have more room for that level of social interacting than I thought I did.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because
well, that's good. But and maybe when I'm, you know, not working as much, I will. But it is also, like, I really like it. But when I'm there, like I was thinking about it after we had the moon dance, it's like I'm fully in the moment. And that's exhausting, and not in a bad way, but it's just exhausting.
It just is,
right.
Yeah.
It's like because you're really interested, and there's all this energy, and then you know, we had Kat and Steven's kids over, and they did karaoke, and
they're such
and it was
fun kids.
my God, they're so cute. I just can't believe how good though, and they're not like, they're really polite, courteous, you know, engaged kids. But they're not noodles, you know what I mean? They're not goody two shoes kids,
no,
right?
They're not.
Like, and they're just really well-rounded, balanced kids.
They're really they're well socialized in the right.
Yes.
When our kids were younger and they were homeschooled and you know, all that, people would talk about, but how are they being social? They're not being socialized, and I'm like, so let's talk about that word, socialization. What does that mean? Like, why are you so intent on getting my 6-year-old into a group of 30 other 6-year-olds when right now my 6-year-old is in a group with a couple of 40-year-olds, one that's older, one that's younger. She's with this other group that we get together with that has kids of all ages. She goes to the grocery store where there's people of all ages. There's no other time in life where you're stuck with your exact age mates and only them. And we call it socialization. In fact, the way, you know, those 3 boys are, they are surrounded by people of all ages.
Including kids.
Including kids. Lots of kids. Well, they go to school.
Enough. But there's kids here, right?
And there's kids here.
And grandkids come visit.
But they have relationships with people that are older, that are their grandparents' age, that are their parents' age, that are in between, all around. That's socialization.
Nope, but that's exactly.
That's a whole...
And they are like, they were just so much fun, honestly. And they start the interaction sometimes. You know what I mean?
They initiate.
Ooh, right?
That's a big deal.
And that's an interesting thing, right? Because even though they don't know me that well, but they came over and they knew it was my yard, so they were just like, hey, what about this? And hey, look at this. And then when we did the piñata, you know, they were coming over going, look at what I got.
Aww.
Right? Like they, and it's really interesting because I would have probably shied away a bit because it's like, well, they don't know me.
Right.
But they don't think that way.
No,
they just think, oh, and it is a safe community, right?
And they've been here from the beginning. And that's the other thing about Pink Beverly's group is most of them. I'm thinking maybe Anna and John might be a little...
they came after us.
They came after us, okay. But everyone else came before us.
Except Maria. Not Maria. Maria came after us.
Did she?
Yeah.
Okay.
But most of the original of the originals, group, for sure. And they, you know, they would get bread from Allie. But it is an interesting thing because these kids are still acting like kids. But yet... they are perfectly capable of holding their own within a thing. It's a really impressive thing.
It would never have occurred to me to have a conversation with an adult. As a kid, especially an adult male. Ooh. I am not worthy. I'm not worthy.
But you also came from the world of kids should be seen and not heard in that evangelical kind of, right? It's very different. And very seniors are this, right? And these kids are really respectful. But they're also interested, right?
Exactly. They're interested, and they have a sense that we're all in this together. The patriarchal thing doesn't seem to really be an issue there. But Yeah.
No,
it's
but
pretty cool.
it was really cool. Okay, so we're running on to, yeah.
Look at that.
So it's time. So what are you grateful for, Rox?
What am I grateful for? Oh, I tell you, you know what I'm grateful for? I'm grateful for a king-size bed.
That's a good one.
Yeah, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for the fact that Paul picked up pizza and is just sitting over there.
I am so excited about that too.
So that's a good one.
Oh, it's a good one. So what do we in the week ahead, besides an offer on your house, since you had a very good showing
We had
today,
a good showing today.
Besides an offer on your house, what do you want more of, Ruth?
I want more happy hours, Roxanne.
Yes.
And what would you like less of?
I would love less bullshit.
Yeah.
How about you guys?
Yep.
Come and let us know.
Yep. Come
how
and
you're
tell us the
doing.
things.
And we will try to look. I checked in on the comments the other day and realized we had a bunch of comments we hadn't responded to. I know, that was my face too. Yeah.
Usually it tells me. I got to go.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't know
we'll
what's
go
going
check.
on. So yes,
Okay,
we will
please,
eventually.
we're going to do
we
better
will
now.
eventually
We're
talk
all
to you.
back here. We're all here.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thanks, you guys.
Okay, bye.